So many footballers over the years, from the A to Z of players that have kicked a goal in their first game, and Zane Zakostelski is one of them. Got involved in the chain, Allen. Charlie, you can barely see him, darting every which way and kicking his third. Take me home, Charlie.
Maybe.
Give it to Zorko, and from 55 metres, Dane Zorko plants his flag with a big bomb.
Review complete.
We can't have a review and say play on, keep going, boys.
Oh, wow, that hasn't gone over. That's a goal.
Oh, hang on. That's a weird one, because can you review for play to continue?
Leaves Selwood behind, kicks it up towards full forward, over Lob's head, juggling mark by Logan Morris, and Brisbane bite back. What a win for the Western Bulldogs. One more for the road. No, it doesn't matter.
It is the Brisbane Lions fancast with JB and Patrick back after opening round. It is Sunday evening. There is still a game of footy to go that is kicking off in just under an hour's time. It is all thanks to Hop On Brewery Tours, Crisp Marketing, EB by Hiker, and Local Card Shop. They are proud sponsors for 2026, and some big news coming up later in the show from EB by Hiker as well. They've just picked up 8 gold medals at the Queensland Beer Awards, so congratulations to those guys. But they have announced a series of prizes for the tipping competition and the game day packages as well, which are fantastic. So more on that a bit later on. Don't forget to visit us at our website, brisbanelionsfancast.com.au. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing, all that sort of stuff. Throw us some dollary dues through the tip jar and shout us a coffee. Buy yourself a Brisbane Lions Fancast shirt. And support the show if you like what we do. It is going to be not the funnest of opening round episodes this week, Patrick, because not only did we not walk away with the win, but at this stage, we are down 4 players. Hugh McCluggage, Harris Andrews, Darcy Gardner, and Zach Bailey are all set to miss some game time. Now, there is chat that we will be appealing for a downgrade on at least 2 of those, maybe, but that is yet to be confirmed. The club came out and said that they will assess their options and confirm on Monday morning exactly what they plan to do with those. But all in all, a lot of things did go right, but a tough loss, and we are going to be testing our depth immediately for round 1 against the Swans, who are on a heater at this point.
I would like to categorically point out that I was against the removal of the sub. No, I was actually, but there we go. And it's amazing that everyone else, all good. Hugh McCluggage, cheeky little calf. I think that made a big difference. Down a rotation, down a midfield rotation, down a runner. We were down a player. It wasn't fair. So obviously I am taking the piss a little bit, but still, that is kind of the reason why a sub is there. So, yep, cool. Yeah, there were some familiar things that weren't quite going right for us. If you think back to certain games against GWS and just watching the ball, you were going, please don't kick it behind, because they are scoring off the chain, off the chart from their kick-in. So please stop giving them the ball. It was quite unbelievable. Bulldogs got a hell of a lot right, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So team news was you smug bastard basically got it right.
I did. I picked the 23, as it were. I did hedge my bets, and I did say we'd go for a second ruck, and it would be either Cody Curtin or ZZ. And I was leaning towards Cody Curtin, but it turns out he did have some sort of chest injury. Not to say he would have got picked before ZZ, but he did get the nod. And all in all, I thought he was pretty good. Kicked a goal, which is probably on the unexpected list, but good for him. I thought he could probably walk away holding his head relatively high.
Absolutely. I do want to bail you up because you've dodged me on 2 occasions here, but last week I said, surely Josh Dunkley will replace Lachie Neale on 360, and you said, nope, not happening. They've announced their lineup.
Yeah.
That night, there was Josh Dunkley, so I will take my plaudits for that.
Yeah,
to which I'll get
I
none.
must have missed that one, but it was good to see him on 360.
You were very steadfast, though. You're like, no, they're not doing that. They're not hedging their bets with captains to try and get them
there you
extra
go.
money. And I'm like, well, maybe they is. Maybe they are. So that was my little slight minor victory, and there's minimal to take this week. So is what it is. But yeah, so the team news was pretty much, well, it's entirely what you thought. It was within the 96th percentile of what I thought. So we largely know our team, so that's good. That's what you want. The Bulldogs. Now, I've made some mistakes in my life, and I've made some mistakes last week.
Here we go. This is
And probably the week
the
before.
Tim English apology, isn't it?
Well, if you were to say that some players for the Bulldogs played quite well, and among them were Tim English, Rory Lobb, and the Frenchman Jacques,
Yeah.
who I made fun of, not knowing who he was. And I apologise because they all played pretty well. I think we made it quite easy for the Lobster. And Tim English are still... what is going on with his Adam's apple? Did he swallow a piece of Lego? I don't know, but... he ended up being the difference maker in the game. I don't know that he made all that much. He didn't give Ford a bath.
It was probably one of
by any
40's
means.
worst games. But, I mean, that probably speaks more about Tim English and his impact on the game as well. And there was a bit of heat between the two. Once Darcy Fort grabbed that ball out of the ruck and kicked the goal, he got stuck into Tim English, and then it came back to him pretty quickly thereafter.
He looked pretty mean for it with the shaved head. I liked it. Now the Bulldogs in the first quarter, we were moving the ball extremely well off half back. But did you notice this? So we would kick the ball to a player, and then it would go to the second player. And every time that player marked the ball, they would put body on them and knock them to ground to stop our ball movement. It happened every time in the first half, at least, and we just could not get the ball moving on our terms. Gamesmanship from the Bulldogs. It was allowed. It was kind of a bit like, it's the sort of thing that's exactly, I would say, directly oppositional to what a lot of the stand rules and things like that are trying to do, because it is slowing the game down. And just keep an eye out on that, because I think if teams have seen that if you just put body on the player in a marking contest and they go to ground, not in a, let's say, Darcy Gardner way, but in a more normal, natural way, you don't give away 50 metres and you can stifle the play. So that's what they were doing, and it was causing us a lot of issues, and it was giving them a lot of territory because we were kind of giving the ball away a little bit. Weren't really super great in the first quarter, but lucky to be where we were.
Yeah, the Bulldogs midfield got on top early on in the piece. We did sort of rectify that as the game went on. We were pretty lucky that the Dogs were pretty wasteful in front of goal in that first half. They especially Croft, they missed some absolute sitters that kept us in the game. It was probably a bit of a false economy at that
evened
stage.
out.
Yeah, it did in the end. And then the last quarter they couldn't miss, and we were missing some that were definitely gettable.
Yeah, I think there was the ease at which they were just able to move the ball up the ground. They almost had foregone the necessity to have territory by that point in time, because they just, it was immensely frustrating at times just seeing how easy they were walking the ball up the field. And is that just down to the lack of run? Is it lack of match fitness? Is it styles clash? I don't know. But on the whole, I would say, I don't think we necessarily played well in any facet. A couple of players had really good games, and we'll come to that, but I really don't think that was a particularly good performance on the whole by the team. And the Bulldogs played... I don't think the Bulldogs have defended that well in about 5 years. And they were pretty good. Their efficiency in terms of scores per inside 50 was really good. They were scoring from the back half. Bailey Dale had a good game. The other kind of more thuggy looking... Is it Dale Morris? No, Dale Morris... Is it Dale Morris? He's on our coaching staff.
Yes.
Who's the guy that I'm thinking
Bailey
of?
Williams? The guy that
That's
kicked that
the one.
ridiculous goal in the third, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah,
him.
that sort of kick-started their run at the back end of the third quarter.
I might keep my mouth shut, but I think that a certain crowd interaction might have had something to do with that, where, you know, every time fucking Country Roads is going on, they just kick a goal straight away. And it's like, shut up and head in the game. You can do it too, fans. It happens with that. It happens with the Bailey one, because they're ones that carry on. It doesn't happen with some of the other ones. That's all I'm going to say on this all year. So one and done after the first game. It ticked me off.
Sure.
So because it happened twice in a row where it's like, head in the game, but when they're all singing, having fun. It's been going on for 6 years. I couldn't listen to the same song for 6 years, but it kind of kick-started them in the back end of the third quarter, because we were gone until your favourite thing, red time.
Oh, yeah, the red time in the third quarter was absolutely disastrous. Now, before we go any further, I must say I was so keen to go to this game, and then maybe Thursday, Friday, started feeling a little bit unwell, and then that just got worse. And then by the time Saturday rolled around, I was absolutely cooked and didn't have it in me to get out of bed to go to the game. So pretty upsetting. I guess at the end of the day, maybe not the worst game to miss, all things considered, but definitely gutted that I wasn't able to make it to the Gabba.
It was a good game of football, I think, on the whole. And I don't mind it. Like, as I said, we win that game 9 times out of 10, which is probably, you could, you know, put some rose-tinted glasses on, but I don't really mind, because that's what I believe.
The loss doesn't bother me so much. It is the fact that we've walked away with a loss and missing players. That is probably the more annoying bit. Like, even if we had have won that game and we still come out of that with injuries and suspensions, I'm still pretty down about the whole thing. But because we lost a game that we were definitely in a winnable position in, it does make it that much worse. And with Sydney just around the corner, who are coming off the back of a pretty dominant performance themselves, that's going to be a very tall order for our back line.
Yes, it will. There are a few incidents. So first quarter, pretty even. What was the score at the end of the first quarter?
I think the Dogs...
19 all.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but we're Dogs with 6 more behinds. I mean, it was pretty even through the first half. It was a good game, really good game. And then
it was a bit of a shootout for the first half, and then we obviously did break away in the middle part of the third quarter before they pegged it back a bit. And then, like I said, they just couldn't miss.
They kicked 2 goals. We kicked 2 goals at the beginning, so there was a couple of, the halves were bookended with goals, 2 goals for either side. But definitely one that kind of got away, but at the same time, I think certain incidents will probably define it. So McCluggage went out pretty early with a calf. We heard it was the same calf and unrelated to the cork he had against the Gold Coast.
It's hard to say that it's unrelated. Like, I don't know. It very well could just be coincidence that it's the same calf that he got a cork on, but did that cork weaken enough that it strained it more easily? I mean, maybe, who knows? Regardless, we're going to be without him for a few weeks, you'd have to think.
Could be. It depends on whether it was severe enough or whether it was just a precautionary thing. And with the new bench, whether that was at all helpful. Zach Bailey elbowed some dude in the back of the head for no real reason. Not super bright, in my opinion.
No, not at all.
Didn't like it when I saw it, and it's fine. Like, everyone probably wants to do that to a geezer wearing a headband, but pick the right geezer, pick the right time. And then Harris Andrews, went to shepherd a ball, and poor old Artie Jones.
Artie Jones, concussed, I think,
Full flush in the face. A massive accident, clearly. And I think you could tell Harris didn't really seem particularly right after that, even in himself. He seemed to be kind of a little bit, I guess, upset.
I mean, you could tell it was on his mind that I'm going to probably miss some football for that. He looked behind him. He saw Artie Jones. He threw his arm out. He didn't mean to get him in the head. Like, I think everyone can agree. He didn't mean to get him in the head. He's
on one knee. Like, he's on one knee.
Tried
and
to
he
block
puts
him
his
off
arm
the
out
ball,
level, you know?
And he's clocked him high. And once that happens, you need to accept what happens. And he's concussed him. He's got him high. Yeah, 3 weeks. Maybe they can... I think the sentiment is they're probably going to try and argue that down from severe to medium or high and try and get it down to a 1 or a 2 week. Good luck. 2 weeks is probably about right, using the arbitrary sniff test or whatever. Yeah. And the Gardner one, I think they'll try and appeal as well to get that down to low impact.
I mean, well, we had issues. I mean, there's been issues already in this season, but with impact on things. And, you know, Zach Bailey last year getting deemed medium impact, and there was less remonstration on far more that we've seen that have been, or more remonstration on, sorry, I should say, on low impact hits and things like that. So, you know, the Gardner one, is it really medium impact? He didn't get him as good as he could. It was not great, but it was clearly just like, I'm going to make you earn this one, and
yeah,
didn't go super well. I mean, I have a lot of sympathy for the Harris, just to go back to that one, and there's a comparison I'll make. I don't know if it's in the questions or whether I should go into it now. What do you think?
Yeah, go for it.
So Ollie Florent need Isaac Heaney in the head in the Sydney Carlton game, and to me, I think that they're really similar. I'm going to get really stupid with this, but for the first part, you go, well, Florent sees Heaney, and then just doesn't alter his run. So you'd say it's a natural football action to run. And he was allowed to run and completely ignore the fact that a guy was there with his head, and he need him in the head. Isaac Heaney has about 5 brain cells, so pass a concussion test, no problem, all good. But I think that impact is going to concuss people 50% of the time, you know? And I think a player's susceptibility to concussion impacts, because someone gets concussed, it's severe impact. And I know they brought things in to sort of say, hey, we can lower the impact this season. Because I could get a concussion, go and take the bins out. You know, that's how susceptible I am at this point in time. And Harris, he looks the wrong way, firstly. So he looks one way, sees Artie Jones coming the other way, and goes to perform a footballing action and shepherd the ball, and gets him in the head because Artie Jones is lowering himself. I think when he looks, Artie Jones is going level, and after he goes past the vision, he drops to probably pick the ball up. Harris is on his knees. So I think they're really similar in the sense that they both knew the person was there, and they both put their arm out. I actually think Ollie Florence is far more malicious, in inverted commas. I think there's far more intent there than in the Harris one. And if Ollie Florence is able to do that, I don't think that there should be anything for Harris Andrews. Now, I think they should both. But if you're going to... I think they're very similar. If you'll entertain me, when Bart and Lisa get told that they're playing hockey against each other, and Bart's winding his arms and saying, I'm going to punch the air, and if I hit you, it's your own fault, and Lisa's kicking. They're both the same. Ollie Florence the one kicking, and Harris is the one, and they're going, well, you can't just run around the football field, and if there's people on the ground, knee them in the head. Like, that's insane. So, to me, they're both basically the same incident, and one didn't get looked at and one did. So, yeah. Entertain me that. Tinfoil hats off. It's on, it's off. I don't know. But to me, they just... everything about them is similar, except one's with an arm and one's with a knee.
Yeah.
And if you were going to ask me which one I would rather get, forearm to the face or knee to the back of the head, I'd probably marginally picking forearm to the face.
Yeah, it's not a great choice, is it, to have in front of you? But
no.
I guess I would choose the same.
But for one to be 3 weeks and one to be 0, that's where I think it's a bit of a weird one. Are you drinking wine?
I am.
All right, sickie. Talk about something else. Zach Kostelski's kicked his first goal.
Zach Kostelski's kicked his first goal. Like I said, I thought he was pretty good. Was he best on ground? No, but I thought he did some nice things. His leap is good, and I think the new ruck rules will suit someone like him. There's every chance he's going to be playing key position defence next week. What did you make of Oscar Allen's first outing as a Brisbane Lion?
Not great. Not fantastic. Like not terrible, not great. It was sort of a bit... the team were performing in a way that didn't really lend itself to his strengths. To me, he's probably a really good one-on-one, mark, but we were kicking it to packs and stuff like that. He kicked a goal in one of the weirdest ways possible.
Absolutely.
But he also easily could have kicked 3 goals, and I think if he kicked 3 goals, no one's really worried. The one from the boundary line it was a good kick, and then he just ballooned the shit out of the one from outside 50. But no, he didn't really offer relief up the wing or contested mark or anything like that. He seemed a little bit like he was someone who hadn't played AFL football in a while, which is
what he is. Which is what he is. There was one moment, I think it might have been in the second quarter, where him and Logan Morris both got in each other's leading lanes and crashed into each other. I thought that, the less that happens, the better, and the quicker that is stamped out of the game, the better for us. And that's just, that's forwards learning to work with each other and, leading lanes and all that sort of stuff. So hope we don't see too much of that moving forward.
If it happens once a game, I don't think I'm too worried about it.
Yeah, okay.
Obviously. But because on another game, Gallup, he missed 1, Allen missed 2, and Morris missed 2 that probably he should have got, and kicked 3 that he also got. So on another night between the 3 of them, they could have kicked 10 goals. So I think it was fine. I think it was more... There was some really weird things. We were getting the ball into that kind of good position for us about 70 metres out and just dumping it long to the pockets. And there were people on the 45-metre kind of inside the arc just there. And it was like, just chip the ball to him or run. Like, just run in and kick it. There was one with Kadeem Coleman where he had the ball about 80 metres from goal. Him and Bruce were just... And it's like... Just run and kick a goal. Don't kick it 70 metres to the pocket. Just keep running. And if someone comes to provide forward pressure, then that's when you kick it to contest, because there's those 2 people less in the contest. Or if it's one of them, handball it to Bruce and back to Coleman and kick the goal. Like, it was really weird. We seemed very hell-bent on kicking it right to Rory Lobb, but also right to the contest quite a lot. It was... That was the immensely frustrating thing, as well as the kick out. Kind of, they kick 5 goals 1 or something from kick outs, and it's like, geez, man, that's more than I've ever seen a team personally that I can remember.
It's a lot.
I think on average it's like less than 1 goal a game. It might even be like 3 points.
Yeah, it's not much.
So there was some rustiness. Coleman was rusty, and I know there's some questions about the makeup of the back line.
Yeah, I think in turn Dusty Wilmot didn't have his best game as well.
He didn't make any terrible decisions, though.
No, I suppose not.
No, it's just harping back to what I said last week. No, there was quite a lot of players that I think underperformed on what they can.
Lohman is
like
probably
Dunkley was very quiet. Bailey didn't quite impact the way. Levi was quiet. Cam Rayner was quiet for a half.
Lohman was quiet.
Yeah, Lohman was quiet, but he did have that little patch where he kicked a couple of goals. He ended with, 2? Almost 3, because Allen got that credit for the other one. But, yeah, it just seemed like across the board everyone was a little bit down on what they probably should have been playing, with the exception of Lachie Neale.
Yeah, if that's what we can expect from Lachie in 2026, that's that's obviously something to look forward to. And I don't know if you saw the news throughout the week, is that accordingly, his preference would be to stay at Brisbane moving forward. But look, we're not going to sit here and speculate about this week on week, but that did pop up, and that was a little bit surprising, I must admit. Before we do get into votes, probably just want to talk about a couple that have missed out for me. I thought that was one of Bruce's best games for the club.
Yeah, he was much involved, and he's kind of playing as a bit more of a link between the defense and the attack. And
his confidence looked he just looked confident.
He looks confident in his ability to break a line, whether it's with pace or through a tackle, which I think is really good. It bodes well, and he's obviously done quite a lot of work in the off season. What are your thoughts on Coleman?
I'm prepared to give him a bit of a free hit for this week. It's fine. Had some good moments. Had some other moments that I'm sure he would like again. I'm not going to judge him too harshly on his first game back in 2 years. It's more about the team impact and structure that is going to be where I sort of have my thoughts on not necessarily just him, but I guess his role and where it all fits in and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah, I thought he gave a little bit too much space to his man defensively. I thought he found himself in nice pockets. He attacks the ball pretty well, but he just looked knackered by the end of it. Fletcher, I thought it was a bit of an anonymous game for him. And if
he had some moments, especially in the first half. I thought it was pretty good, but he did fade out.
Yeah, there was just some moments that I think he'll want to have back, and it's the sort of thing where you go, well, if he's going to have that level of impact, is it worth continuing with him at halfback and having more and keep him in that rotation? But I don't know, because he seems to be much more on the wing, and he's someone that can when he has the ball, it can end up anywhere, but if he's on a wing, it can only end up in one direction, if that makes sense. So I don't think we're necessarily utilising his potential with him on a wing. Levi, I wish I'd seen more from Levi. Will Ashcroft, I wish I'd seen more from Will. He just didn't quite seem to be as impactful. There were times for sure. And it's not to say that all of these players weren't impactful at all. It's just the general output didn't seem to be quite where it was. But who have you got for votes? Thanks to who are we thanking these to?
Hoponbrewerytours.com.au. Book yourself a half or a full day tour. One more before we do get into I love Ty Gallop's work rate and his intensity and his follow up and his ground level work. I love everything about Ty Gallop. And when it all
are you talking particularly about that moment where he crashed a pack and there were two and he was on his feet before the other two?
The whole game, like his work ethic for a big key forward to do some of the stuff he does, his work with his hands, not rewarded on the scoreboard, or particularly with a huge amount of contested marks. I just really love the way he plays his footy.
Beautiful. He does do the simple things well. So yeah.
Check out the best breweries across Brisbane and the Gold Coast with Hop On Brewery Tours. Book a half or full day tour at hoponbrewerytours.com.au.
Okay, votes for hoponbrewerytours.com.au. 3, Charlie Cameron. I don't think he probably would have registered a vote for us last year. Maybe in the grand final. But 3 for him. His pre-season forms obviously continued into opening round. 2, Froggy Lester. I thought he was probably... Harris was pretty good up until that incident, but I thought across the game, Froggy had a really great game. And Zork, the 1 for me. Bruce very unlucky. I thought he was close to getting a vote. And Lockie Neal probably as well.
Yeah. I'm giving Lockie Neal 3 votes because it's... Like, without him, there would have been a lot of weird stoppage stuff going on. And I think he was playing overtime to make up for McCluggage not being there. 2 for Charlie Cameron and 1 for Leicester for the aforementioned reasons. Zorko was a very close to the third too. So 1 for the old guard there, which is quite funny. all of the chit chatter about the young ones, that it's just a bunch of old men that are just sweeping the votes. So good for them. So Sam Darcy's obviously a good player, right?
Yeah, he's not bad.
He doesn't handball the ball much, but is claimed to have handballed the ball quite a lot. He does a shovel. He does a bundling, bouncing shovel, and he did it 3 or 4 times that resulted in goals. And it was ticking me off real bad. There were also so this is going to be my umpire rant window. There were about 4 times where we should have had holding the balls in front of goal because they just dropped the ball, wasn't paid. Obviously, the 50-metre penalty on Artie was bullshit. But there's been a lot of questions about the one that was paid to Butterick.
Yep.
Now, I know technically it is correct that if they were going to pay a free kick for that, it should have been a 50 metres, because I don't know, it's that Gary Ablett one where, like, if you've handballed and then you drag the player who's about to receive the handball it's a free kick and 50 metres. I just don't think it's a free kick because he doesn't actually hold him. So it's the sort of one where if it's a free kick, it has to be 50 metres, but I don't think it's a free kick. So am I the arbiter of umpires? No. In the last passage of play, they threw the ball about 4 times, and then Zorko should have had a 50-metre penalty. So whatever. We make our own bed.
We do. And we are going to need to make 4 changes to this lineup at least. I can't imagine there being any more than 4. But at this stage, 4 changes, unless, Darcy Gardner's ban gets downgraded and or overturned. It also does say on the AFL website that Jared Berry got injured, but I can't seem to find any other information about that anywhere. So until that gets confirmed, I'm not going to read into it too much. So for the team next week against the Swans, we are going to be without some key defenders coming up against Mr. Charlie Curnow, who is going to be licking his lips at this point. Yeah,
I think he'll be licking his lips more about Gardner not playing than anything else, because Gardner's done quite a good job on him in the past. Payne has and Gardner. But I don't think that it was the matchup that Harris would have gone to. I thought Harris probably would go to Amati, and then one of Froggy or Dizzy would go to Charlie Curnow. Couldn't he have had a night out?
Yes.
They kicked a lot of goals in a very small amount of time, which is great. Errol Goulden looks like he's been eating tree trunks in the off-season. And they look pretty good. Scary good, I think.
Yes. Well, I mean, that first half
of the game... As did the Gold Coast.
Yeah. First half of the game, that game was putrid from both sides. And then, obviously, the Swans turned it on in the third quarter. 12 goals.
Well, that was the funny thing, because I switched on and it was sort of, the Carlton were up 2 goals. And the commentary are banging on, like Carlton are just like smashing them. They had the better of the play, but I'm like, it's Sydney. All they have to do is kick 2 goals and like one of their players who's really good just to be like, oh yeah, I'm really good, like Chad Warner or something, and do something right. And then they'd be winning. And they were. Like, it was very... Yeah, it wasn't... I think our game was a good game. I don't think any of the other games have been particularly good. I mean, the GWS Bulldogs one was okay. GWS, whoever the hell they played, Hawthorn was okay.
Yeah, it had some moments.
But that's also the one that I didn't watch, because I was like, needed a break.
What changes are you making to this lineup? Let's go one by one. Who's coming in for Hugh?
Oh, choice. Probably Hannibal.
Yeah,
or Marshall.
I reckon. Yeah, it'll be one of those two, I reckon. Probably Dan Hannibal.
Yeah, you could go Hannibal, and then for Bailey, who's coming in for Bailey? Link?
Yeah, probably Link or Wilmac. Probably Link, considering he was, on the cusp as it was.
First drop. Yeah. I I think we'll make 5 changes too. I don't know that Zach Kostelski will keep his spot. I also don't know that Kadeem Coleman will. He could pull up real sore.
God. Well, I mean...
Also, can I ask a question? I know you don't do the fixturing. Why did Sydney get to play 2 days earlier and then not leave Sydney?
Yeah,
like,
look,
why are we playing later
answer.
and then travelling? Like, I don't... What? Yeah,
that I can't answer for you. I think Zach Kostelski will hold his spot, and I think he will probably play key defence with Darragh Joyce.
Yeah. I don't know that we necessarily need to have 3 keys, because who else does Sydney have down there?
So they got Amadi, they got Charlie Kerno, and they do have Logan McDonald.
Oh, Logan McDonald. Well, does he even do anything? I'm not saying stuff.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. No.
Thanks. So I reckon
need 3 then.
I will reckon he holds his spot, and I reckon Sam Draper will come into the lineup.
So who would be your third defender?
It'll be Froggy, Darragh Joyce, and Zach Kostelski. It's grim, isn't it?
All right. I mean, it's been grimmer.
It has been grimmer, but this is, yeah. You know,
see, I could see a backline with Darragh Joyce, Frog, and Shadow Brain playing as like a hybrid on one of Amadi or Logan McDonald's. If Zach Kostelski pulls up sore. But yeah, that does sound about round the mark. I think this is just one where we treat it as another pre-season type game and try and build some structure, build some stuff, and like play to win, but don't be too stressed.
Chris Marketing are your outsourced marketing managers. From social media and newsletters to design and websites, they handle it all, so you can stay focused on your business. crispcoms.co.
All right, well, let's jump into the Chris Marketing questions, because a lot of the questions will sort of delve into team lineups and stuff as well. And I guess one of the big questions is, can we play Darcy Wilmot, Dane Zorko, and Kadeem Coleman in the same team?
Yes, but it will have a risk and reward to it, that if our pressure ahead of the ball is not right, then we will get absolutely punished for it. That's not to say that Noah Answorth doesn't come straight back into the team for me.
Well, I think in an ideal world, they probably would have liked to get a couple of games into Noz, but yeah. Danny Daly also did say that they were training Shadow Brain as a lockdown defender in a similar role to Answorth and Starcevic, and Jimmy Tunstall as well playing a similar role. I can't see that one happening anytime soon, but yeah, maybe it's a bit of a rush to get Noz back into that team, or as you said, Shadow Brain comes back in.
So did a bit of research this week about the expression "another string to his bow."
Ah, yes, great.
So I might be wrong. Might have been wrong. Might have been a bit harsh.
Jeez.
Allegedly, it originated from 16th century England, where a archer would take a backup string in case their bow string broke, to then quickly restring their bow as a backup plan. So it's not like you're adding bow strings to your bow and you're adding it's like a backup plan to if your thing you're good at doesn't go well. So what I will say in my defense is people often don't use that phrase correctly. They use it like it's an arbitrary number of bow strings that you got hanging around, and like your string has 5. You're not Legolas. You're just a normal English bowman. So, yes, Shadow Brain as a lockdown, Jimmy Tunstall as a lockdown, extra strings to their bows.
Great. These questions are thanks to Chris Marketing. Get your free Brisbane Lions Fancast stickers at brisbanelionsfancast.com.au.
Have we got a potential sponsor for the philosophy and history segment of this podcast?
Not yet. All right, your mate Rob, and a follow-up question from Jim here as well. With Eric coming back, and I suppose and Eric's not going to be back for a while, do you think it could be worth him training up on a wing? And Jim has said, well, what about maybe a swingman type role like a Blitzavs?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sure.
I like the idea of it. I mean, there's not too much pure, hypothetical question.
Yeah, I don't mind the idea of him on a wing.
Yeah, I mean,
like Richo in his later years.
What was that?
Like Richo in his later years.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know why that's so funny. It just is Richardson. Yeah, it could be good. I think versatility with tall players is probably a good thing. He works hard, but it's just
He's
a
a
wait
good
and
field
see.
kick.
Like, yeah, he is.
If we could get a relieving sort of mark up on the wing, and then a delivery inside 50 from Eric, and we know he's got the running power, providing his knees.
I think the thing is with our system, we ask the wingers to do very specific things, and it's not like a typical traditional winger that is.
Yeah, the wing role has changed.
The leading, the key forwards are now providing the outlet, or they should be providing the outlet on those sort of, defensive dump kick sort of things, whereas the wingers are folding back into defense. Look at Ollie Dempsey and stuff like that. Like, that's what a winger does these days, rather than link the play. So I don't know that it 100% suits his skill set, but I'm happy to be proven incorrect.
Next question from Borosco. Is Charlie back, or is this just opening round sugar hit?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him play like that in a long time.
He did.
I think that
there was an article
sorry,
on him. There was an article with Charlie in the back half of last week. He's clearly, heard what everyone said about his season last year, and is looking forward to putting it behind him and getting stuck in. He feels good, and if pre-season and opening rounds anything to go by, and that's what we can expect from Chuck, then God, I'm here for it.
I think he strikes me as the kind of player who, if things are going well in his life or in immediacy, or if he's feeling confident as a person, that tends to be more when he plays his best football. Because, if you recall, he was dynamite between when he joined the club and then when his teeth got knocked out, and that shook his confidence quite a bit.
Yeah,
he was quite shaken by that. And then it's the sort of thing where after that happened, he wasn't great until he was pretty good in the 23 grand final. And then the off-field stuff before 24, which I think caused potentially some personal problems for him. And I think that is probably a reason why he didn't have a particularly good couple of seasons. Maybe I'm reading into it in a wrong way, but he's about to have a kid. So, and I think he's getting married. So it seems like his personal life and his self-confidence kind of reflects his form. And I personally think that's why he's playing so well, because he's in a good place. So hopefully that means that it's here to stay.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
That's nice. Reading a lot into someone I don't know on a personal level, and I'm really connecting some dots that I'm just making. So there you go, Brosco.
Tom, how many games does Zizi get this year after his performance last night?
5 to 10.
Yeah, sure. I mean, he's at least got next week for me.
Harris Andrews won't be back until gather round, which is round 5.
It's upsetting, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and it's just, he's not one of those guys. It's just the sort of thing where you're like, I know he's been suspended before for like something stupid, but people are carrying on like it was Jeremy Cameron on him. Like, I don't know.
One thing I have noticed is there's definitely a and it happens when your club becomes successful, that people are definitely over the Brisbane Lions and are ready to hate.
We are certainly the baddies.
Yeah, and fair enough. I get it. It won't be long before we're not again, and someone else will be public enemy number 1. Danielle, good friend of the show there, for real. It felt like our defence was really lacking, and we got exposed time and time again. What are your thoughts, especially with Harris likely missing? How do we fix that?
Pressure on the ball, not really the defence. yeah, I think it was players ahead of the ball. I mean, for as well as Lachie Neale played, 0 tackles.
Yeah, that's probably a little bit alarming, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it was from the midfield group that the pressure was lacking because, Gallup had 6 tackles inside 50. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like Dunkley
and that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about with Ty.
It just seemed, it seemed like there was a bit of a clutch of players. Maybe it was the back group, but just something seemed off in transition, and we got belted pretty hard in transition. So I don't think it's entirely up to the defense. We've seen the defense stand up at different times. Curnow doesn't scare me as much as some, like the potential for some of the other Sydney players to score their midfield score and can score heavily. We kind of lack a matchup for Heaney. And it was sort of a lot of different guys that did the damage by the Dogs. Bontempelli was really good too. Bastard.
You have to think, Dunkley will probably lift on his performance as well. Charlie Curnow, you'd have to think like he would have been so geared up for his game against Carlton and first game for new club that he, hopefully doesn't perform as well. Who knows?
He looks like a kid wearing a kit, like a Guernsey. When he's wearing the Sydney one, like he looks like his own child. That's like, get me a Sydney shirt, Dad, and it looks real weird. He looks younger and older. It's weird. I don't know. Next question.
I think that's probably it. When Draper's fit, who does he come in for? I think he just comes in and then there's some reshuffling of tools, considering what we're dealing with over the next couple of weeks. But I think moving forward, it is probably, long-term Zach Ostelski out, Draper and Fort probably both in the team, and until that combination of the two rucks doesn't work. But, we both know Fags is a fan of the two rucks.
Yeah. Yes, he is, as long as he's got a second ruck that's suitable. And Ty Gallup did a bit of rucking and stuff, but it has been interesting to see across the weekend how teams have sort of lined up with their rucks. Because I don't know that Geelong didn't have a second ruck. They just had Blitzarves. Did Stanley play?
No, Sam De Koning is definitely moving up into a more of a permanent ruck role.
Yeah, and then so Gold Coast had Witts and other fella? Reed?
Ethan Reed, yeah.
Reed. Carlton had Pitnet and some other guy I'd never heard of that my brother was like, oh, it's this guy. He's new. How do you not know who he is? I'm like, because my wife doesn't support Carlton. And who did they play? Sydney. Sydney only had Grundy, and Grundy just charged it.
Yeah, and Marty plays back, and Logan McDonald probably plays back up as well.
But that's the sort of thing, is that like if you look at it and you go, Fort and Draper are two out-and-out ruckmen. And in how many teams are going to be lining up with two out-and-out ruckmen? That's I suppose where I wonder where we'll go, because there's not been a lot of the time that we have played Fort and Oscar over the past couple of years. It happened in the back end of last year because of necessity, and we needed something up forward that wasn't Sam Day, which is why Owie was there. So I can't see both of them being in the team long term, particularly if it's the sort of thing where you're going, well, does Hipwood get a game or one of the rucks? Like not as a ruckman, Hipwood, but like for balance, Or are you going, well, Gallup, you got to chop out and Hipwood's there, and then you've got four that are moving. But then at the same time, that makes me think of that weird Hawthorn thing where they had three tools on at all times, and it was like using AI and all sorts of dumb stuff going on. Do you see some of the stuff about Sam Mitchell? He came back with like bleeding knuckles after half time or three-quarter time. And it was like, I can tell you're frustrated. Let me help you with some suggestions to make you feel better. Thanks, ChatGPT. God, what a mess.
EB by Hiker is your home for away games. Live footy on the big screen, good beers, good food, good vibes. 65 Manila Street, East Brisbane.
So let's get to tipping, thanks to EB by Hiker Brewing. Now, as I mentioned off the top of the show there, recently picked up 8 gold medals in the Queensland Beer Awards, and this week coming up for the Sydney game, they are launching their away game day packages, and you can get yourself a discount on these by simply listening to the Brisbane Lions Fancast. So, if you go to ebbyhiker.com.au and you're looking for a place to watch any away game, how's this for a deal? $79 per person. You get 3 hours of all you can drink, and you get yourself a main meal from the kitchen as well. The package starts 30 minutes before kickoff, goes right through until the end of the game. Now, if you that's $79, that's fantastic value, by the way. If you listen to us and you book this through the website and you use the code word Lions Fancast 26, you're going to get yourself $10 off that as well. So that's going down to $70 for the game day package there as well. That starts this Saturday against the Swans, and then that will continue every away game. So Saints, North, Melbourne, Essendon and Giants, they're all available. You do need to get those bookings in before the day before as well, midday the day before. So head to the website ebbyhiker.com.au. You get to get the upstairs area by yourself, and there's very limited spots on that as well. So there you go for value. They are also going to be donating the prize for the tipping winner competition. Whoever takes out the tipping competition at the end of the year is going to get themselves a grand final day package at EB by Hiker worth $790. And weekly winners of the tipping competition are going to get themselves 300 waypoints, which is the equivalent of a free pint as well. So, that all being said, big shout out to Phil and Matt and the rest of the team there at EB by Hiker for jumping on in 2026 and for those fantastic prizes and game day packages as well. So far, with one game to play, St Kilda and Collingwood, that's kicking off in 5 minutes' time, in real time as we speak. I'm sitting on 2 tips.
That's correct. So am I.
And Hayden F. with the username, I guess, of the tipping, Fear My Boners. Very good. You are our weekly winner. Same margin.
Is he? Because what if he tipped Collingwood and St Kilda win?
Well, at this stage, that's what we're looking at. So by the end of the round, we will. I'll do another announcement across our socials.
So Hayden, you might not have won, but you might win. You might.
So at this stage, make sure you do get in touch.
You're tipping hard, and you're cheering hard for whoever you tipped, because I want to say it takes so many more clicks to get to the tips on the app now. I don't know what the hell is going on, but it's really annoying. Like, I'm going through all sorts of nonsense and mess, and yep.
All right, let's look ahead to next week. The once traditional AFL season opener, Carlton and Richmond at the MCG. Carlton are going to want to bounce back. By the way, did you hear Sam Doherty's phone call on Dan Does Footy? Just absolutely getting stuck into Carlton. Worth a watch.
No.
Worth a watch, worth a listen. Yeah.
Didn't he publish that without his say-so or something?
He did. And Sam Doherty has since come out and said, look, I don't apologise for what I said, but I do say sorry for the amount of swearing.
I mean, yeah, I guess fair enough, but also, you did play for them last year and you weren't great, and you haven't been great for a while as well, so...
It was very interesting listening, and when I heard it in real time, I was like, geez, I can't believe he's saying all this. He was captain of this club not too long ago, and he's just sticking the boot in.
I'm very tempted to tip Richmond.
Yeah, and fair enough, too.
I'm tipping Richmond... by the right... Why can't I... There's no slider on the margin. There's no slider on the margin anymore. So sliding on the margin was my favourite thing to do each tipping week, because I would just spin the wheel and see what happened. And now I have to click it 100 times to make Carlton look embarrassed. This is going to be very reminiscent of the beginning of last season. Richmond by 17.
I've gone Carlton by 16.
Oh, la-di-da.
Hawthorn Essendon. And on the Friday night, I will go Hawthorn for that one. Although, geez, they didn't. They weren't great on Saturday.
No, I mean, I am tempted to go back and tip Carlton because they have got that game under their belt, you know, where it's like, oh, we've played a game. Will they be better? So I'm going to tip Carlton by 20 points. And I'm going to tip Hawthorn.
Dogs and Giants. The Giants were very impressive considering their injury list. Very impressive. Their ball movement was fantastic. I'm not going to tip
Riccardi
him.
looked like he was having fun. No, I'm not tipping him either. Bulldogs. I mean, that said, this is exactly the kind of dumb game they're going to win. And if you think back, GWS did get belted by a lot. So maybe they will be out for blood. So, we'll tip the Bulldogs, though, annoyingly.
Cats and Freo. This is an interesting one. Freo are a lot of people's sort of pick to contend this year. The Cats weren't great on Friday night. The Suns were hot, though.
They'll probably get Dangerfield and Cameron back. I'll pick the Cats to bounce. It just feels weird. Teams that have played against, like, it feels like it would be easier to play a team that hadn't played.
Yeah.
So you've got the Bulldogs and GWS obviously not getting the rub of that draw, and Sydney and us also not getting that. Seems weird. Fixturing. I'm already having a crack at it. No good. I'm sure Collingwood won't play someone that... No, they're playing Adelaide at the MCG. Yeah. Cool.
I'm still stuck on this one. I might actually pick Freo.
Okay.
I'm tipping Sydney because...
Yep. I'll allow it because rather than you hedging your bets like a coward, I can actually rationalise thinking that Sydney will win this game and are more likely to win. However, I'm still tipping the Lions because I am an honourable man.
Very good. Crows and Collingwood. It's hard to tell without seeing Collingwood. We're kicking off now, but I'm going to tip the Crows.
Yeah, I don't know because, you know, this will be the worst weekend if Nick Dacos kicks 10 goals or some bullshit like that.
Port North at Marvel.
North.
Oh, he said he wasn't going to do it. He's going to tip North again. All right, I'm tipping Port. St Kilda, Melbourne. I will go the Saints, and the Suns by 11 billion points against the Eagles at People's First Stadium.
So you're not going to go for Dev Robb to have a generational game, 50 disposals and kick 10 goals?
He can still do that and they'll still get their pants pulled down.
Starcevic, debut to remember?
I don't know that he's going to be playing for the first few weeks.
Oh, good pickup.
Yeah.
Is Calamarchi playing for...
No, I think he's
Crows?
missing the start of the season as well with that hamstring.
So they wouldn't have helped us anyway.
So there you go. Tips thanks to EB by Hiker. Check out ebbyhiker.com.au and organise your game day packages.
So just before we go on, no spoilers on the football because I will watch it when we finish this mess of the last segment.
Oh yeah, this is exciting. This is our new one thanks to Local Card Shop.
Local Card Shop share your love for the Lions and your hobbies. Sports cards, memorabilia, Pokemon One Piece, Magic the Gathering, and heaps more. 906 Stanley Street, East Brisbane.
This is a game of over-under or who played more games for the Brisbane Lions. Now, I must say for the Brisbane Lions only because there will be a couple of people in this segment that have, are dual club players. So for the Brisbane Lions only is what we're going with here. So your first matchup is the Loosh himself, Brendan Favola, and Tom Fullerton. Who played more games for the Brisbane Lions between these two gentlemen?
Can we discuss it? Do you know the answer, or are you just...
I do know all the answers to this, yeah.
Oh, what the hell? So it's just purely me.
Yes.
That's just stressful. Fev only played that one season. He didn't play very many games, did he? He didn't also... he would have played 15 games. 14 maybe. Tom Fullerton. I'm going Tom Fullerton overs.
Tom Fullerton, 19 games. Brendan Favola, 17.
Let's go. So is that all for this week, or are there?
No. There's a few that go through here.
God, I was thought I'd done it.
No. Your next matchup is Dara Joyce, currently still on the list, and Nakia Cockatoo.
Joycey.
Nakia Cockatoo, 15 games. Dara Joyce, currently on 11. You'd have to imagine that will be 12.
When did Cockatoo... Can you just delineate subs, please? Because if Nakia Cockatoo's been sub 4 times, I'm raging.
I reckon Nakia Cockatoo's probably sub 12 times.
I'm taking a moral victory on that.
All right, your next one. Jared Pollack and Tom Bell.
Tom Bell for sure.
Tom Bell, 21 games. Jared Pollack, 16. Well done. Next matchup, James Aish and Ben Keys, Brisbane Lions only. Both gone on to have reasonable careers elsewhere.
Aish was only there for 1 year, but he played most games in that. But I'm still going to go Keys.
32 games for James Aish and 30 for Keezer. Luke Hodge and your mate Jackson Pryor.
Are you killing me, man? You're killing me. Did you put this together?
Yeah, I did.
And you put this together specifically to irritate me, didn't you?
Correct.
Okay. It's good to know. Look at his little face. Little face. So Hodgie would have played 30 odd, 39, 41.
One of the numbers you said is correct.
I gotta go Pryor with more.
Luke Hodge, 41, Jackson Pryor, 39 games.
I said both the numbers.
I know. Your next matchup, I think this is your final one. No, Marco Paparone.
Oh, Paparone.
And my boy, Alex Witherden.
Paparone was in the team quite a lot and for longer than I thought.
He was on the list for a few years.
I feel like now, since you've told me that you picked the players, I now feel like I'm playing you, not the game. And given the amount of stick you've been given about Witherden over the many years, I have to go with Witherden on principle because I feel like you would use it to get back at me, and that's the kind of petty behaviour that you would choose.
59 games for Alex Witherden and 55.
See, if you play the player and not the game, you win.
There you go. That's all thanks to Local Card Shop. Local Card Shop.
I think that might be that last bit might be my greatest podcasting moment of all time. Read you like a book, Brooks.
Well done, sir. All right.
Honest chat. Was that what your thinking was? That you'll get one back on me?
No. I just went through AFL tables, found 2 funny-ish names that were close enough in games totals, and whacked them together.
Sure
You think too much of me that I put too much thought into it.
Maybe I just expect everyone to be as vindictive as I am.
Fair enough. I think that's going to wrap things up for another week. We have got a big task coming up against the Swans that I'm not looking forward to, if I'm perfectly honest. So
we're in all sorts of fucking trouble here, I can tell you that.
Great. But you know what? We've been in trouble before.
Yeah, we do like to pull it out. But also, hold on, I want to say to anyone thinking that we were going to, for the David Kings of the world that thought we would have 20 wins this year, I will be cold and dead in the ground before this club is recognised as a minor premier. We always want to make shit difficult for ourselves. And losing to the Bulldogs is part of that.
Yep. Losing to the Dogs and losing 4 players.
We'll do dumb stuff. It was, losing the 3 players was a bit reminiscent of Hawthorn against North Melbourne back in the day, but they did ultimately win that game. So we haven't quite got there yet, but we will have a weird situation. It'll take time to sort out, and then we'll slime our way into 3rd or 4th and win the premiership.
Here's one for you while we're talking about games played, and something I thought I should mention before we chuff off for the week. Dane Zorko is going to break the record this year for games played for the Brisbane Lions, he's going to overtake Simon Black. Simon Black had 5 years head start on Zorks.
Correct.
Just throwing that out there. That's wild.
Yeah, well, I mean, feel bad because McCluggage will beat all of them, but not with this calf, he won't.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
All right.
Yeah.
Huru, go watch the Saints and the Pies.